Hi students, welcome back to our video lectures on tuned amplifiers. In last video lecture we discussed about single tuned amplifier. Now in this video lecture we will discuss about double tuned amplifier. First we need to understand the basic difference between a single tuned and the double tuned amplifiers. As the name indicates that in case of a single tuned amplifier we have only one tuning circuit available at the collector, whereas in case of a double tuned amplifier we have two tuned circuits. See here, this is what is the tuned circuit 1 and this is the tuned circuit 2, L1C1 which is a first tuned circuit and L2C2 which is the second tuned circuit, and these two tuned circuits are going to be tuning to the frequencies. Let us say FR1 is equal to 1 by 2 pi root L1C1. Similarly here FR2 let us say which is equal to 1 by 2 pi root L2 into C2. Now these two are the two tuned circuits which are connected at the collector side. The amount of a signal, or you can say the strength of the signal from tank circuit 1 to the tank circuit 2 depends upon the mutual inductance between these two tank circuits. And this is the similarly we are trying to quote the another stage of the double tuned amplifier. This is one stage and this is the second stage of the double tuned amplifier. Anyhow, our discussion will be confined only to one stage of the double tuned amplifier. Now let us start the discussion for deriving the quality factor as well as the voltage gains and other necessary parameters as well as the frequency response of double tuned amplifier. Then we will conclude with what are the advantages of this double tuned amplifier compared over single tuned amplifier. Let us start the discussion. This is the equivalent circuit for the double tuned amplifier at the output side. We are not drawing the complete diagram, which is a simplified diagram and which is an equivalent diagram. This is especially for the output side. Whatever we are trying to derive for the double tuned circuit, we are drawing the equivalent circuit only for this double tuned circuit, so L1C1 and L2C2. Now see this one. This is the amount of a current that is flowing at the collector side, Gm into V1, which is the current, and the resistance at the stage 1, the output resistance of the stage 1, which is indicated as an R0. Now R1 is a leakage resistance for L1, R2 is a leakage resistance for L2, M is the mutual inductance, and the output voltage will be taken across this C2, or you can say the output voltage is taken across that Ri. Ri is the input resistance of stage 2, which will be becoming as the output side. Now let us simplify the circuit further. This is what is the equivalent circuit we are trying to write. See this one. Now the current source we are replacing with a voltage source. Whenever you are replacing with a voltage source, these elements comes into series with the current source, the voltage source. Here this is what is the voltage source we have, Gm V1 by J omega C, and we have a parallel combination that comes into series, C1 R11, this is L1 minus M. We have taken mutual inductance. Here this side we will get L2 minus M, R22, and this is C2. This is what is the circuit we have redrawn. Now let us see what is the each and every parameter that has been quoted in the simplified equivalent circuit. This is what is the formula we know for how to convert into parallel. This is parallel and series elements we have. See this. This is what is R11 we have tried to replace. R11 which is equal to omega naught square. This is omega naught square L1 square divided by R0 plus R1. R1 is the resistance which is available here, which is the leakage resistance. That's what we have to try to quote here. And similarly, R22 is equal to omega naught square L2 square divided by Ri plus R2. That's what we are trying to write here. It as an R11. In place of an R1, we are trying to write R11. In place of R2, we try to write it as an R22. These are what is the equivalent resistance at input side as well as the output side. Now we know the formula for the quality factor. Q is equal to omega R into L divided by R, omega R into L divided by R. You try to write the formula for both input as well as output sides. Means one side we have a tuned circuit 1, another side we have a tuned circuit 2. Q1 which is equal to omega R L1 divided by R11 and Q2 is equal to omega R L2 divided by R22. This is for tank circuit 1. This is for tank circuit 2. Two different quality factors we have because of two tuned circuits used. Now let us keep both the circuits with the same quality factor. Q which is equal to Q1 which is also equal to Q2. This means we have a resonant frequency. You try to write the resonant frequency. We will get it as omega square which is equal to 1 by L1 C1 which is equal to 1 by L2 C2. We know the formula. Fr is equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. From that we can write the formula omega R square equal to 1 by L1 C1 which is also equal to L2 C2. From the above circuit, from the whatever the circuit we have quoted previously, we can write the formula V0 is equal to IT into 1 by j omega C. This is I by j omega C which is equal to I2 into 1 by j omega R into C2. We can bring this j to the numerator by putting up this minus j I2 by omega R into C2. Now let us calculate this V0 by V1. For this I2 is represented in terms of V1 because if we want to derive this V0 by V1, you need to represent this I2 in terms of V1, then only we can be able to write V0 by V1. Now, whatever the circuit we have drawn here, this circuit, whatever the circuit we have drawn here, you further simplify it. We will try to get the circuit in this fashion. We need to find what is this Zm and what is this Zf, what is our Z0, what about this ZL. All the parameters we need to quote. We are trying to write the trans admittance. We try to evaluate from this circuit. The trans admittance, we know that whenever you try to quote it as a trans, it gives a relationship between output and input parameter. It's a trans admittance, output current divided by input voltage, I2 divided by V1. You write it as I2 divided by V1 equal to I1 into Z11 which is equal to AI by Z11 which is equal to Zf by Zf square minus Zi into Z0 plus ZL. Means you want to calculate that Z11 which is equal to V1 by I1 from the previous circuit, or from this circuit also you can be able to calculate this. V1 by I1 you try to evaluate by applying the loop equations. You try to derive Zi minus Zf square by Z0 plus ZL. Similarly, you try to calculate the current gain which is equal to I2 divided by I1 by applying the necessary loop equations in the circuit, and you will get it as minus Zf divided by Z0 plus ZL. For time being I am not deriving any derivations for this Z11 by applying the loop equations, and you try to evaluate V1 by I1. Similarly, in order to find out the current gain, you need to get I2 divided by I1. Similarly, you need to apply that loop equations. You are going to be deriving both Z11 as well as EI. You substitute these two, then you are going to be getting the equation Yt is equal to Zf minus Zf square, Zf divided by Zf square minus Zi into Z0 plus ZL. We know whatever the Zf we have indicated in the previous circuit we have seen, which is a mutual inductance. Therefore, Zf is equal to j omega R into M. Similarly, whatever we have tried to represent here, Zi, Z0 and ZL, we have to see what is the formula, because this is a simplified thing what we have represented in the circuit, and at the same time we need to represent what is this Zi, what is this Z0, and what is this ZL, because this is the circuit what we have simplified. We have removed all the elements together from both an input sides, and here we replace it with Zi minus ZF, here Z0 minus ZF, and this is ZF we have represented ZF. That's why the entire things we try to represent it with M with ZF. Remaining what you call impedance is represented with Zi, and the output side the impedance will be represented with Z0, and we have redrawn this circuit. Now let us see what is the Zi. Zi is equal to R11 plus J into omega L1 minus 1 by omega C1. Similarly, output side whatever we are trying to represent, Z0 plus ZL, which is equal to R22 plus J into omega L2 minus 1 by omega C2. These are the actual formulas what we have represented in the earlier diagram. Or in the simplified circuit, Zi minus ZF as well as Z0 minus ZF, these are the actual formulas for Zi and Z0 plus ZL. Now from the equations whatever we have written, both not both ZF, Zi as well as Z0 plus ZL, we further try to simplify the equations. We know that ZF is equal to J omega M, J omega R into M, which is equal to J omega R. We know the basic formula for the mutual inductance. K is a coupling coefficient. We call it as a coupling coefficient K into square root of L1 L2. In case of a Zi, multiply both numerator and denominator by omega R into L1. See this case. R1 equal R11 into omega R L1 divided by omega R plus L1. Here J omega R1, J omega R into L1. Just take this omega L1 as a common. Even you can do it. It's a very simple one. J omega R into L1, which gives you 1 minus 1 divided by omega into omega R into L1 into C1. You further simplify it. Omega R into L1 by Q1 plus J omega R into L1 into omega by omega R minus omega R by omega. That's why we are writing this in this form. Now you further simplify this. You know the formula, omega R equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC. From this, omega R square equal to 1 by LC, and we have already discussed about this frequency deviation. Delta is equal to omega minus omega R divided by omega R. Now you simplify this, omega R into L1 divided by Q plus J omega R into L1 into 2 delta. Take omega R L1 by Q as a common. You will get it as 1 plus J into 2Q into delta. Similarly, taking the third equation, Z0 plus ZL, which is equal to R22 plus J into omega L2 minus 1 by J omega C2. We will try to get it, you try to derive in the same way. We will get in this form, omega R into L2 divided by Q into 1 plus J into 2Q into delta. You to try to substitute all the three different formulas we have derived for ZF, Zi as well as Z0 plus ZL in the admittance, transadmittance. Simplify the equations further. You will get it as KQ square. You simplify this equation, you will get it as a KQ square divided by omega R into square root of L1 L2 into 4 q delta minus j into 1 plus k square q square minus 4 q square into delta square. Substituting the values of I2 in terms of Vi into Yt in V0, we try to get this is we know whatever we are trying to represent V1, which is equal to Vi, which is input voltage, you try to apply, which is equal to J Gm into V1 divided by omega C1. You try to simplify it further. All these where we have got, again there is a question, how we have got this equation. Now come back. See this one. See this one. This is what is the equation we are trying to derive here. I2, this is what we are trying to substitute. V0. We know the formula for that Yt which is equal to I2 divided by V1, I2 divided by Vi. You try to write, because here we are using that Vi as an input voltage. Then you try to write the formula for I2 which is equal to Yt into Vi. This is what is the formula, where Vi is equal to J Gm V1 divided by omega R into C1. This is from the basic circuit what we have drawn in the earlier case. This is what Vi equal to J Gm V1 divided by omega 1 C1. Now in this case we are having both V0 as well as V1. Both V0 as well as V1. We try to derive this voltage gain AV equal to V0 divided by V1, which is equal to Gm omega R square L1 L2 KQ square divided by omega R square root of L1 L2 into 4Q delta minus J into 1 plus K square Q square minus 4 Q square delta square. We know this formula very well. This is from omega R equal to 1 by 2 pi root LC, and you try to substitute and simplify this. The same circuit, the same formula we have written in this fashion. We need to calculate the frequency deviation. Let us see this circuit. This is what we are trying to make it equal to 0. See this. This is what is the term we are trying to make it equal to 0. For delta q minus j into 1 plus k square q square for minus 4q square delta square, which is equal to 0. And you try to plot a graph which is between the frequency and the gain, and you are trying to get two peaks. This is due to the two tuning circuits what we are using. This is what is a one peak, and this is what is the another peak. This is the peak gain, and this is the dip gain. That is the minimum gain. The minimum gain that is in between my tuned amplifier 1, that's a tuned amplifier 1 L1 C1, and this is due to tuned amplifier L2 C2. We will get the two maximum voltages or two maximum gains at two different frequencies. Now you try to compare. This is what is the bandwidth now. Now the bandwidth has been increased. This is what is the bandwidth that has been increased. This is let us consider this. What is the FC, center frequency between my tuned circuit 1 and the tuned circuit 2. This is what is the center frequency FC, which lies in between my tuned frequency of tank circuit 1 and tuned frequency of tank circuit 2. And this is a relative gain, and you try to plot a graph between the relative gain and delta q, and these are the for different values of kq, considering kq equal to 0.5, kq equal to 0.25, kq equal to 2, kq equal to 4, kq is equal to 1. What is happening to the relative gain with respect to delta q? That's what we have represented in this graph. Now from this whatever the formula we have written, you try to calculate the lower cutoff frequency and the upper cutoff frequencies f1 and f2. f1 which is equal to fr into 1 minus 1 by 2q square root of k square q square minus 1. This is 1 plus r minus, and f2 is equal to 1 plus. This is what is the difference we need to identify. In case of a lower cutoff frequency, this is 1 minus. In case of an upper cutoff frequency, this is 1 plus. You consider this critical, k square q square which is equal to 1, which is equal to 1, k is equal to 1 by q, means f1 equal to f2 which is equal to fr. You call it as a resonant frequency or you call it as a center frequency. This is what is the condition for critical coupling. Whenever you try to say kq is equal to 1, which is a critical coupling, this is kq is less than 1, which gives you a poor coupling, and at the same time the gain is also less. kq is greater than 1 means that k is greater than 1 by q. It's a the circuit is overcoupled, and it is overcoupled, and it is always helpful in order to provide the more bandwidth. This is the gain magnitude at the peak. At the maximum level, what is the gain we have? AP is equal to mod AP is equal to gm omega r square root of L1 L2 into q whole divided by 2. The gain at dip delta is equal to 0, which is given by at dip the maximum value into 2kq divided by 1 plus k square into q square. You try to measure the ratio of peak gain to the dip gain, which is represented with a gamma. Gamma equal to AP by AD, which is equal to, from this we directly write AP by AD. We will try to write AP by AD. That's what is a gamma. 1 plus k square q square by 2kq. You try to solve the above quadratic equation and choose the positive signs. You will get kq is equal to gamma plus the square root of gamma square minus 1. This is what we have already quoted. The bandwidth between the two frequencies is normally high, and which is a useful bandwidth. The 3 dB bandwidth you try to measure at gamma equal to root 2. Substitute that gamma, you will get kq equal to 2.414, and we have already seen in the earlier bandwidth which is equal to 2 delta, which is equal to root 2 into f2 minus f1. You substitute both f2 as well as fn. We mentioned this formula in the earlier slide, f2 as well as f1. Substitute the formula, simplify them further by applying this kq equal to 2.414. You will get 3.1 fr divided by q. Therefore, the bandwidth which is equal to 3.1 fr divided by q. This is what is the bandwidth formula for double tuned amplifier. Remember, this is a very important formula. What about the bandwidth in case of a double tuned amplifier? We have to quote it as a bandwidth is equal to 3.1 into the resonant frequency, or we call it as a center frequency, divided by the quality factor. And let us see what are the advantages of this double tuned amplifier over single tune. The first one, we can straight away say the bandwidth is going to be increasing. Whenever the bandwidth has increased, gain bandwidth the product also increases here, and it has a flatter response, having the two steeper sides. This is one advantage when compared with the single tune. Single tune we have only one steeper side, but here we have two steeper sides. As a result, the bandwidth gets increased compared to our single tune amplifier. Let us conclude the concept now. In the next video lecture, we try to discuss about the stagger tune amplifier.